Let's take a break. We'll come back after this.
Dominicans, Dominicans, enjoy your property, protect your property. You homeowner and businessman, protect your property, enjoy your property. Can't wait for the hurricane, can't wait till you flood again, can't wait till you fly out and all your business running out. Remember, no insurance company will insure your property when a storm is approaching. Get ahead of the hurricane season. Insure with a company who gives you the assurance of payment for your valid claim. Come speak with us today at the New India Assurance Company Limited, upstairs AC Shillingford and Company Limited, 24 King George Street, Roseau. Bring along an up-to-date valuation from a qualified engineer and get insured today.
Q 95.
During the hurricane season, if you are evacuating, leave early so that you are not stranded by flooded roads, fallen trees, wires, and traffic jams, and make sure you have enough fuel in your vehicle and follow routes and highways. A message from Q95 FM Radio.
I see Golo in shopping for farming supplies, so I ask him, what are you doing inside Bloombox? You have a farm? He tell me, that's how hell sort. I've been married 37 years, look at my money farm. I say, no, not woman, like land for farming crops. And then you understand, Bloombox is the most affordable on island. Knapsacks starting at only $57.71. Elsewhere, it's $300 plus. Cutlass seeds, seeding trays, nursery pots, sales of potting mix, all at way better prices than anywhere else. Fertilizers, 3-in-1 multi-tool, and so much more. Located on Federation Drive, Goodwill. Second property on the right after the Valley Link Road and on the corner of Drury Lane and Hanover Street in Roseau. Bloombox. Let's bloom together.
The Johnson family and friends, in collaboration with the Dominica Cancer Society, presents Songs and Rhythm in support of cancer care. This benefit concert will be held at the Alliance Française from 7 p.m. on Saturday, September 27th, 2025. Tickets are only $50 under the distinguished patronage of Her Excellency Mrs. Sylvanie Burton and Mr. Burton. Songs and Rhythm will feature the following acts: Tyson Johnson and Family, Mikael Henderson, Janae Jackson, Niall Grove, Stillpan, and Royette Daniel and Vernella Dumas. Get your $50 tickets at the Cancer Society office. Call 767-316-7326 or from Tyson Johnson at 245-8994 and Davis Later 265-3607.
Together we will
We're here, of course, waiting for the guests coming up from the statistical division at this time.
Teachers sit stand, children don't be rude. The head of state is visiting us.
Let's educate ourselves, okay?
Stand at attention and show some respect. But I was in a different mood. I said, teacher, if I stand, it's not for him. I'm standing for you. Those politicians and them making their big salary. Yet they're still robbing the taxpayers, the treasury, and the country. Oh, teacher, you taught me and I learned. Respect has to be earned. Does that mean?
Hello, John, to me on the telephone, yeah?
Matt, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
When your panel arrives, can you prepare those questionnaires for them for me, please? Like, take for instance.
I'm listening.
I look at it as being disrespectful to ask me for my age.
Okay.
Would it not be a little more decent to say, age ranges. How many persons you have between 5 and 15 in the household? How many persons you have as teenagers between 10 and 18?
Mm-hmm.
Are you between 50 and 60? And I would tell them yes, but to ask me explicitly what's my age, I find that a bit disrespectful. I believe you should ask age ranges in the household. How many you have between 40 and 55, thereabout?
Okay. All
There's
right.
another question that comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who is the head of the household? That sounds a bit, funny. What if we have 5 working adults in the household? There's no head of household. If there's 5 working adults, we're all adults. We're all working in the house. We're all equal. So what's this about a head of a household? That sounds like a slave master mentality. Who's the head of the household? Those days are gone. Everyone is an adult if that's so the case in the particular household. You with me, my brother?
I'm here. I'm taking notes. And of course, our lady has arrived. So I'm thinking that she's maybe listening herself. And of course, we'll start the conversation in the next 10 minutes. Okay. So teacher is the one we'll play. Well, I'll ask a question on your behalf. Okay, Mr. Carroll.
What the reward and recompense.
Again, it's an education process. We have to teach each other. Okay.
After my mother and father, you have been my mentor. I wonder if you knew my first crush was on you. And teacher, you never seem to mind spending that extra time so that no child is ever left behind. And teacher, government might not honor you, but heaven holds a place for you alongside the greatest teacher. And teacher, if one day I'm in government, it's you I would like to stand for as my country's president. I promise, teacher, to campaign your cause. I will tarry not as I plead your case to the highest court of righteous law. I'll sing, yeah, sing from every rooftop till justice is done and the title of teacher gets recognition. I know the nurses and farmers and field workers will stand with you. Be of courage, so we all share your struggle. Teach the children of today the errors of the past, so those ungrateful leaders will be the last. Instill honesty and loyalty, so when they become successful, they'll have tangible memory of their teacher. Because teacher, through overcrowded classes, you educate the masses, despite neglect and broken promises. And teacher, though you never own a vehicle, you always find it possible to report whenever duty calls you. And teacher, you always make the grade, being the lowest paid, upon whom the highest demands are made. And teacher, the 11th commandment is God bless that government. He remembers to honor teachers and teachers. When you are called home, you will not walk alone. You'll be in the company of the greatest teacher and teacher. If I had a say in this matter, it's you I would like to stand for as my country's leader.
Again, Dominica, this is an education process, okay?
Oh,
A lot of people have been asking questions, and I'm sure you know it's Q95 is the talk on the block. We're looking for some answers based on information that went out earlier this week, and I want to start off this way. I want to say welcome to our guest in studios. She's no stranger, and she's been here before. She's chief statistician, and she'll be answering the questions you ask, and I'm sure we'll follow up with some questions myself and the people. We want it to be a very interactive session here this afternoon there, and we want to welcome in a big way this young lady, yes, in our house this afternoon there. Let me say good afternoon to you. How are you doing this afternoon? How are you doing?
Good afternoon, Matt. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Happy to have you in the house.
Same here. Good afternoon to your listeners also, at the listening public, everybody out there.
All
Good
right.
afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, and I'm happy that you came. Let me just, of course, introduce the guest there. She's here. She's Miss Prevost Stevens. That's right, Mrs. Prevost Stevens. She's a chief statistician with the government of Dominica. And earlier this week, I just want to start off that way because that's what caused all the confrontation, if you will, and questions to be asked. I want to start off this way, and we'll find out a little more after this.
Various consultations, and it is recommended that we just go back and just do a complete count, and we have to ensure that this one is very timely. It is done within the shortest time frame. We are looking at 4 weeks. It may span to maybe 6 weeks, but 4 weeks. Our target is 4 weeks to do all the enumeration districts. So it is called, as I said, a household listing, whereby we have enumerators who are being trained as I speak. We are training our very first set of enumerators, and they will be deployed out in the field as soon as they're complete with their training. So that could happen later today or tomorrow for sure, tomorrow the 17th. And when they approach, actually this questionnaire that they're going to use out there in the field is going to be a very short questionnaire. It is not a census questionnaire. It is a listing questionnaire which captures very simple data. It's just going to capture the name of the head of the household, the person who is considered as the head of the household, and the other occupants of the household. So we are collecting the names, the sex of each person within that household, age of each person within that household. We will also be asking a question on if there is anybody within the household who is engaged in agriculture, and for what purpose. Is it for commercial use or for own consumption?
This is what started this whole controversy. Mrs. Prevost, explain to us what is before the people of Dominica. Is this a census? Tell us what's going on. Tell us what's going on.
Okay. First, I would like to say I didn't realize that it was really a controversy, but
It was.
it's not a census.
It's not a census.
It's not a census, as was stated earlier. It is a household listing, or as is referred to, a population count.
What is the difference?
In the census and the listing?
Yeah.
Okay, the census is a very comprehensive survey that captures information not only on the names of the persons within the household, but also on the characteristics of the building that they live in and other characteristics of the household, such as the type of building, the type of roof, the appliances, the economic situation of the people within that household, the health situation, education, for example, highest attainment, the highest attainment level of education. If anybody is suffering from any health situation, any sickness, and there are other, for example, employment. So a lot of things, in terms of maybe salaries and all of those. So it's a very comprehensive survey. And the duration of that survey, to conduct that survey, it is significantly longer than this one.
Okay.
This is just a listing. So the listing, as
Mm-hmm.
you played earlier, it's really capturing the name of the head of the household, along with the names of the other occupants of the household, their age, their sex, male or female, and what else? And as I said, if anybody is engaged in any agricultural activity for own use or commercial use, and we also have to capture, because we have to go to all buildings in the country. All buildings are already mapped on our system. So what we are going to do is, if the building is not a residential building, it will automatically be, or is supposed to be, an establishment or an institution. So all of that information is collected in a very simple, short questionnaire.
So why now?
Okay, why no? Actually, if well, most of our households that we would have visited would have known that we had started off a pre-listing, a pre-census listing, and this one wasn't completed. And in order to have a complete count, you need to complete the exercise. This one wasn't completed. And in order to move ahead, in order to move ahead, to have a base, to know what our total population is, we must do a count. We can't estimate.
So why?
We have-
So why are we not doing a proper census? It's been over 15 years. Why?
Remember, again, after this first pre-listing was done, which wasn't completed, because of the time frame, we had to move into census enumeration mode. And that we started. This one also was incomplete. So that's the reason why yes. So we can't say complete the census or do another census, because a census is normally done every 10 years.
Okay. To your point, a census was done 2011, I think it was.
2011 was completed, yes.
So why were the results of that census never revealed?
Actually, when we were here, I recall we stating that this census was completed and disseminated and has been on our website for years prior to the launching of the last census.
Was it? You're saying it was revealed? Where?
Yes, actually, I'm not sure if I recall, but I recall we coming in the studio with a copy of the report. It has been on our website. It has been available at the office, and the persons who requested, because we know persons have been using it for years, so that data has been there.
But it wasn't. It was on your website. Would you tell us whether it was an announcement made out there in the public? Was the nation informed about it? Because you can have it on your website and people don't have access to it. Because many people are saying we have never gotten the results. So why would people say that?
Prior to the last census, I recall we mentioned that yes, the results are out of the last census. So that's that's as much as I know about that, the results. And then even prior to this detailed report, we had the preliminary results, which gives the population by all the parishes, all the villages, and this was disseminated, completed and disseminated September 2011, a few months after the census of May census. So these reports have been there all the time, and we know persons have been using them. So I really don't understand why persons are saying that they don't know about the report, they don't know that the results were disseminated.
Well, I'm very surprised to hear that these results were disseminated there. And I'm in, of course, in the media for many, many years, and I don't know Yes, I'm seeing there, but I'm saying to you that it may be on your website, but I don't know if an official announcement was made about
Well,
that many years ago, and why not? If
I don't.
you
I
don't
wouldn't
recall,
be. I don't.
were you at the office at the
I
time?
was at the office, but I don't. In
Was it?
terms of an official report, I know it was launched. The report was launched, but not. I'm not sure what happened.
You don't. You know. You
But
can't
I
see.
know for sure it has been out maybe since 2018.
All right. Hello,
It's
talk
been
to
a
me.
while.
Yes.
Hello, Matt.
How are you?
Good afternoon and good afternoon to
Yes.
Mrs. Prevo. Now, the first thing I want to say, we are all adults and Mrs. Prevo is an adult. So treat us as adults, okay? That's the first thing I'm saying. And come straight to it. Matt, a few years ago, she said it's not a census. I did. Some people a person came to my room, asked all questions, head of household, health, everything. I haven't heard nothing about what happened to that. Now my questions are the age group of the people that are going to ask you those questions. What's the age group? I want to know the age group because I'm not just going to give any and anybody my information. I actually talking about your health and all that. Okay? Another thing I want to say,
I think.
talking about agriculture.
Hold on. Because I think you miss because she's saying she was trying to compare what is a household census in terms of and the difference between what's going on now and the general census. I think that's what she was trying to explain earlier. Are you there, caller?
Yes, I'm there.
Yes, yes.
I'm continuing too.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I asked now the people, as I said, I asked for the age group, the people who are going to ask you the question, the
Okay.
enumerators.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did they take an oath of secrecy before a judge or a magistrate? Write down all what I'm asking.
Right.
Right, okay?
Mm-hmm.
No, I heard you talking about agriculture, if you're involved in agriculture. If you're involved in agriculture, the best place to go and get that information is from the Ministry of Agriculture. So don't come and ask me about if I'm in agriculture. I'm not a farmer, okay? You understand? You're taking no notes, my darling?
She's taking notes. She's taking
Yes.
yes.
So after you get all that information about people's health, their household, whatever, what is going to be done with that information? Okay? I think that, let me see if I have another question. Yes, so those questions I asked you there, please give me the answer, please. And as I say, we are adults, so just be truthful. I'm not saying you're lying. Just come straight to the point and please give me the information. Another thing I'd like to see, the questions. Can you tell us the questions on that form? I would like to know the questions you have on that form.
All right, caller. Let's see if we can take more calls. You've picked up a sense of what she said. She said, "How young or how old are these people? The enumerators that you now training in training session? How old are these people? It means that the age range is it between 18 and 25? Is it between 50 and 25 and 30? The age range of the people you're training now."
Okay, most of the persons that well, actually, all the persons are adults.
Mm-hmm.
All of them are adults, and we don't really ask persons their age
Right.
when we recruit persons for those exercises
Mm-hmm.
because it's a very simple questionnaire, as I stated. So these persons, based on what we see, these persons should are above maybe 25 years and above, older. They seem very mature persons. Some of them do have experience, and all our enumerators, we don't send them out without taking an oath of secrecy because whatever information that is collected is very confidential. It remains between the enumerator, the tablet, well, and obviously the office.
You said earlier. You said earlier that you believe that the last census was published. But I can tell you that I've heard in a news conference that the head of state, is the prime minister, said there was an error in the census, and this is why it was not completed. You never heard that.
An error. Okay. Well, I know that it wasn't completed because there were challenges out there, but so that could be considered as an error, I guess. But There were challenges.
But
Okay.
so even if the challenges, it was released.
The last one, as I said, was incomplete. You can't release incomplete information.
But the 2011 was released. That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
that's what I'm saying. It's a while. That's the report. The reports are right there. That's what we keep saying.
Hello, talk to me. Yes. 449309596 and 97. Yes, to your questions, they are all adults and they have taken an oath of office. Okay, 449309596 and 97. Hello, yes.
Yep. How can anyone in Dominica trust the present government when they have been fooling the people for the longest while?
No, we don't. We're not here to discuss that. We're here to discuss the issue before us. In terms of what you believe and what you don't believe, that's not. We're not here for that. Okay. Hello, talk to me. Yes.
Good afternoon, Matt.
Good afternoon. Yes. Good afternoon. Yes. Good afternoon.
Matt, I just want to ask you, which agency, be it national, regional, or international, has sanctioned this survey, and who is sponsoring that survey? Because anytime you have surveys, they are sponsored or sanctioned by some agency. That's one question. Secondly, how isn't a census, a national census, due right now? And if a census is due, why are we going through this survey almost like doing everything duplicating, right? Why are we not going through the census and getting those statistics at this time? Because a census is due every 10 years. You had one in 2011. So we are 14 years gone. Why are we not going into a census rather than going into piecemeal, getting this survey and that survey and that survey, and then a census is due? So the two questions: why aren't we going to a census instead of that thing there? And who is sponsoring this survey? That's what I need to hear from the lady. Thank you.
All right. Hello, talk to me.
Yes. Okay. Thanks for your question. As I said earlier, there was a last census which started but was incomplete. So the next, we have no choice than to wait for it, because it's not, Dominica is not doing a census in isolation. It's a global thing with the UN. Okay. So it's not like Dominica, we just get up and say that we are doing a census, because the next round of census, which is 2030, is already being launched in 2025. So there's no way that you can go out and do another census when we know there was one that was incomplete recently. And we can't say that we are continuing it, because it would have been out in the field too long. The data is obsolete. We cannot use that data now or just add or additional data to it.
So when do we expect another census? You said it was
in the next round.
It was incomplete. When is the next round? When?
The next round is 2030. It is referred to as the 2030 round. However, based on your preparations, based on resources, based on demand and everything, you could go into the field maybe 2031, 2032. I know of one Caribbean island which is still trying to attempt to do a census from the last round.
Okay,
so I'm not sure how this is.
Can you speak to some of the challenges that we encountered in the last census that you speak about in 2018?
Okay, so some of the challenges. First, we started off with challenges because the census was supposed to start off during the time of COVID.
Okay.
And then for that reason, it was delayed, because there's no way persons could have gone out to engage households, during that time. Although our enumerators were equipped, we delayed in sending them out. And when they started off, we had persons who fell sick with the COVID. So there's no way an enumerator who is ill would approach a household. And if a household has any ill person or somebody's infected, there's no way that this enumerator could approach this household. So that was one of the challenges. We had refusals, because persons, they encountered refusals in the field. And when persons, maybe with multiple refusals, some of them gave up. So some persons just gave up that, they just couldn't take it because there were refusals, and they would pass it on to the office or to their supervisors.
But you spoke earlier, and of course we heard your voice clip, as to why we are having this census.
No, it's a count.
The household count.
Right.
Why is it necessary at this point? And who mandated it? Who asked for this information? It's just for your ministry? Is it necessary?
It is very necessary, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
As I said earlier, because if the pre-listing was completed, there would be no need to go out there to count the population, to count the persons. The reason being why we need a complete count is because this population, the total population, it is used in many ways for statistical purposes, and it is also used as a what we call a benchmark or a frame to conduct other household surveys. So, in order to conduct other household surveys, we need to have a frame. We need to draw a sample from a frame.
Okay.
If we don't know our total population, how are we going to draw a percentage from that to be able to enumerate? For example, we have other surveys that we are supposed to do, such as the labor force survey. And if we do not have a complete count, how are we going to be able to do that survey to tell persons or to inform persons about the employment and unemployment rate in the country? And also we have other surveys such as surveys of living conditions, the household budget surveys, which give information on inflation rates and all of those. If you do not have that, what is going to happen? Because and it is also used obviously for policy purposes. It is used in other areas of statistics. For example, you want to know what's your GDP per capita. In order to speak about per capita, you need to know about your population. You need to know how many persons are there. What are you going to divide by? What is your denominator? We need to know those things.
How do you defend when people say this may be politically motivated?
First, I should have said that from the beginning. It is not any political activity. It is something that is normal among all countries. You must know your population, because sometimes you hear persons quote certain figures and you wonder, but where did they get that from? You need to have information to make informed decision, and you need the population. For example, an investor comes in, right? And he wants to invest in any area, any economic area. But he needs to know the population of the country. You are doing a development of a road area, or you need to, do some some investment in some education or whatever it is. You need to know the population of the different areas that your investment is going to take place in. Students are coming to ask for the information. It is very sad when you can't provide this kind of information for your students. Researchers are requesting the information also. We also provide this information to regional and international agencies. So for decisions to be taken on behalf of the economy, on behalf of the population, you need to know the population. It's simple. It's a very simple thing. It's basic.
But you understand the clash because we are approaching an election maybe in the next few months. So people are now asking the question, why? Why now? And this is why I think you're getting all this pushback at this point in time, because there are parties out there, including the incumbent Dominica Labour Party, UWP, want to know the numbers. So this is what the clash is about. Some people are now suspect that you look in, you're saying what I'm hearing out there. You're looking to find out where people are located and what is going on. But let's take a voice note, and then you can defend that later.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to all Dominicans, as well as your guest. Good afternoon, Mrs. Prevo. Matt, I'm listening to the discussion at hand. And I seem to be a little uncomfortable with the response Mrs. Prevo gave as to the reasons Dominicans are still asking for the results of previous censuses that were done. In her response, she stated that the results were published on their website. I think that response is very troubling. Is she saying that if Dominicans want the results of the census, every Dominican who are interested in the in the results of the census should go on their website to look for it. So what happens to the dissemination of such critical and important information in the media? Why wasn't it in the news? So that, I think after the census is done, then I think a thorough report should be given as to the comparisons of previous censuses, like how many people are in Dominica, what's the population of Dominica, whether the population has increased, whether the population has decreased, and et cetera. But to just do a census, a general census, and place the results on the website, I think that is a callous response and callous behavior. I don't understand that, Matt. So everything makes the news in Dominica. So you want to tell me that DBS Radio at least did not even publish the results through the media, through the news, as to how many people live in Dominica, how many people have migrated out of Dominica, et cetera. I think that is a very troubling response and behavior, if you ask me. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you. Now, can you give us from the statistics office the population of Dominica as we speak? Because I've been hearing different numbers, 67, sometimes 70, 75. What's the count, Mrs. Prevost?
Okay.
Can you tell us categorically what's the population of Dominica from your office point of view?
Okay, from the office, our last estimate, because we do annual, yes, because remember, a census is not done every year. So when the census is done, you say that's the population. But every other year, it has to be estimated. The reason being, you don't have a census.
So you estimate.
It's when I say it's an estimate, you use the natural increase, you use the births, the deaths, the migration data.
Mm-hmm, right.
So that's it. So that's what you use. So from the last figure that our office would have had, based on, as I said, births, deaths, migration, would have been, listen what I said, 71317.
71.
That's 2022, 2022. Yeah.
So we don't know fundamentally, as you say, it's just an estimate for this time.
Because a census, you can only say it's the actual figure when a census is done. And that is every 10 years. The years in between, the periods in between, they are what you call population estimates.
So what you would get at the end of this household count that you're doing this time, you would have a fair idea as to what it is.
Right.
And you're asking people to cooperate with you at this point.
Exactly.
All right. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Yes, talk to me. Yes.
Hello, good afternoon, Matt.
Good afternoon.
And to your guests.
Yes.
And your listeners. I find it very, what would I want to say? I mean, how could the statistical department give us a figure based on estimates that they just stay in the office and how many leave Dominica and how many come back? How many people live in Dominica every day? Dominicans live in Dominica every day. How do they know when they come back? How can you use that to tell me how many people are in Dominica? I figured that is you're not hiding something. You cannot tell me you're telling me 71,000. No, Dominica could not be 71,000 based on your estimates. You know how many people went back to? Can you put into your figure how many people went back to and has never returned? That is nonsense, man. That is really hogwash.
All right, caller, thank you very much. 449-3095-96 and 97. There are a number of calls coming in. I just want to be, of course, to encourage and, of course, thank Mrs. Prevost for coming in and answering all the questions. I'm sure there are questions she might not be able to answer given her position. Hello, talk to me on the telephone, yes?
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
This is Lucille Phillips. I know you don't like me to call your program.
Don't stop that nonsense, Lucille. Ask the question and we'll move on. Go ahead. Everybody's invited.
My lady, good afternoon.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you all have a count either 2022 or 2023? Because There was some young girls who came to Bathurst State where I'm living, and they were going in houses, talking to people and whatever with their receipt and what, not receipt, their book or whatever, or their phone. And they passed certain houses, they skipped certain houses. I was on my porch, they skipped certain houses. And that was, how did you call that? What was it? Was it a census or a count?
I'm not sure which one, but we had a pre-listing and we had a census enumeration. So I'm not sure which one, and I'm not sure, as you said, they skipped your porch, or I cannot confirm who were the persons and if they were really our enumerators. But our enumerators, they are assigned to certain enumeration districts. And if your house doesn't fall within their enumeration districts, then they would have no right to go to your home, even if your house may be on the other side of the street. Okay, so we have enumeration districts, and our enumerators have their boundaries. So I cannot ascertain what what happened there. I don't know.
All right.
I'm not yes.
Somebody's asking another question. As it's the enumerators that training there, are these the same enumerators that are going on for the reconfirmation process?
Some of them, yes.
Some of them, yes.
Some of them.
All right.
And while we are at it, maybe I should just give the figure of the last complete censuses. So that would have been 2011 would have been 69774. 69774, and that's 2001 would have been 69774.
69774.
And the 2011 would have been 69325. So it basically remained flat. 69325.
325. That's 2011.
2011.
And 2001.
Right.
2001. Yes. Okay, 2011, 2021. And you said the 2018 was not completed.
The last one, it wasn't 2018. I said the report was out since about that time.
Right.
But our last one wasn't completed. The last census, it wasn't completed.
It wasn't completed.
No.
So you're now saying the population, you said estimation is 71,000.
71 approximately, yes, 71. And the persons that are saying, if a figure, you don't have a scientific method in order to derive your finals, it is an estimate. A census will give you the actual figures. In between, they are estimates.
All right.
Okay.
More telephone calls. Are you there, caller? I'm sorry. Let's move on there. Hello, talk to me. Yes.
Hello, Mr. Good afternoon.
I know.
And Miss Prevo, Mrs. Prevo, good afternoon.
Mrs. Prevo.
I'm living in Pottersville for 20 years now, and nobody has came to this house I am living in to ever check if it's a cat, if it's a dog, if it's a mouse that's living there. Nobody. So I don't know. I am living in my house all the time, but I'm here, my house bill and everything where I was born, because it's Pottersville I was born. Nobody have taken one census from me as of a day to die. I don't know what Dominica census is. I don't know what it's not is. I don't have no problem with you, but I'd like you all not to pass at that home again. Forget that you am home. I'm not a human being. I'm not a person. I'm a worker, so I have to get stressed. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you very much. No, let's not bring in the politics. She's just asking you guys to cooperate. When somebody comes to your door, I'm hoping that you do cooperate. I've been asking you all week. Hello, talk to me, yes? Again, I just want to ask the question, why is this necessary at this time, and who mandated this census?
It's not a census.
The household count, if you want to use that word, yes.
There is a need for it from the statistical division. Yeah. There is a need for the information. In order to advance, in order to develop other areas of statistics, we need that base.
And you only found out yesterday, for example?
No, because as I said, with all the challenges, the delays, up until sometime earlier during the year, we still had persons lingering, persons out there in the field, and we just had to stop it. Just stop it. And yes, so we had all our consultancies, because we don't work in isolation. Okay, we are part of regional agencies and their advisory bodies that, okay, we need to stop this because the data is not useful at that point. So the best thing to do is just do a complete recount of the population.
All right, somebody's asking this, just a statement there. Somebody says, sounds like the government needs a population count in order to get some financing. Prime Minister said the census wasn't completed. What website can we find the 2011 census? Can you tell me about the website? You can find the 2011 census. Somebody's asking. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, it's on our website, stats.gov.dm.
All right, 449.
And if you need, you could also send an email to the office, cso@dominica.gov.dm, and we send you a copy.
Okay, hello, talk to me on the telephone, yes?
Yes, Matt. I wanted to ask a question to the statistical officer there. She mentioned that the reason we can't do a census, or we won't do a proper census, which is way overdue and should be a priority of the government to do right now, is that we have to somehow coordinate our cycles with other countries or the United Nations and so on. But that is patently not true. I mean, there's an attempt made to do so. But if a country has not been able to carry out its census, then I think we have an obligation as a country to ensure that as quickly as possible we do the census before the next one is due. And so we are now in a situation where Dominica has no statistical information for over 15 years on the exact things that the young lady mentioned. Economics and employment, state of the economy, so many, many important things. I look at censuses from 1925 where we have detailed statistical information on the state of the country. And in the year 2025, we cannot have the same, and we are being told, well, we can't do it because we have to get into another cycle. No. If we are going to make the effort to train enumerators, to visit every household in Dominica, how much more effort could it have taken to sit down a few months and develop a questionnaire and survey that could quickly and effectively capture the information that we need, the other demographic information? That answer is completely unacceptable. It makes no sense whatsoever. We can't expend all these countries' resources to send enumerators to every country in the house, in the country, every household in the country, and not gather information on are you employed, when were you last employed, what is your situation, it takes, 25 more minutes, 30 more minutes to ask those questions? It makes absolutely no sense to do this, for me, what is a foolish exercise. And the second point I want to raise is, what happened 2 years ago? Enumerators came to my home. Enumerators were out there collecting data, and I assume these enumerators were trained. I also hear we're training enumerators now, but were these people not trained 2 years ago? They came out. We never heard the results of that household count. They don't want to say census. We don't know what happened, what went wrong. The data has not been made available. Make the data available to us. There are some of us who are fellow statisticians. We can analyze the data. We can understand what happened. What happened? What happened 2 years ago that necessitates us doing this exercise less than 2 years later? We want real answers. This is not a confrontation, but I think the country deserves real answers. And I think so far, it seems to me we are hedging on that. What happened 2 years ago? Why did that fail? Was it a design issue? Was it a collection issue? Was it a money issue? What exactly made that 2 years household count fail? And why can't we do a proper census, for crying out loud? We need this data. We absolutely need this data, and to say we're going to wait until 2030 something to do it is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So I just hope the young lady can provide some insight into these profoundly important questions for the country.
Well, don't you think, just a question to you, don't you think that the what she's asking for there is necessary at this time?
The what? The count?
Yes, the count. Don't you think it's necessary?
It is necessary. It is overly necessary. It is way past due. This should have been done years ago. But if we're going to do this basic exercise, first off, we could have done this 2 years ago. We could have done this 3 years ago if all we're just going to do is collect some counts of households and names. And yes, that is important. Statistical data is critical to a country's development. So I do not agree with those people who say why we're doing it. It absolutely is necessary. But much more than that is necessary, Matt. Much more than that. We need a full census count, and we are asking the government to do what is necessary to ensure that Dominicans get a full census done. It is over 15 years overdue. And somehow the government does not seem to prioritize or understand the importance of that. We don't seem to be a data-driven society. And that is the most aggravating thing here. We need to make data-driven decisions. And to do that, we need the data. So how can the government come here today and say, oh, we are not doing a survey, we are doing a household count? It's absolute madness.
Okay, caller, thank you very much. Can you respond? Or you just want to let it slide?
No. He mentioned about
Thank you, Mr. Ito.
The survey, and why don't we do something comprehensive in order to gather other economic information?
Mm-hmm.
But with this survey, this count, it is a survey, I must say. It is a survey because we are going out with a questionnaire. But as I said earlier, this survey will allow us to do other household or sample surveys, because I think he knows what he understands about all the different surveys. So this will allow us to have
statistics,
other sample surveys, which will allow us to gather other information or in other areas of.
But don't you think you would have to? You have to be doing this exercise over and over again, though.
Which exercise?
This one, because you're looking for sample surveys.
No. By right, we are supposed to be doing surveys scientifically in order to come up with our results to be able to provide data for the economy.
Mm-hmm.
So we would need to do surveys, for example, as I said, the labor force. You need to know the labor market.
So it means you'll have to come back again.
But that's the work of the statistics office in order to conduct surveys to be able to provide data to the public. Yes.
449-309-5996 and 97. More telephone calls. Yes, a lot of interesting questions being asked there to Mrs. Prevost. Talk to me.
Good day.
Good day, yes.
Good day to your panelists. Matt, I have done surveys. I did surveys in 80. In the 80s, we did surveys to find out how many people employed, how many people dead, and how many people have house, how many people this, how many people that. And we knew what we were doing. We were trained. We knew what we were doing. We knew our people. They were getting people that knew the people around. So we knew who were working, and we would, when they come home in the night, we would come in the night to question them. Those in the day, we would confront them, and we never got problems. We did the surveys, and it didn't take much time to get the results. So I don't know why now. Not too long ago they had the survey. In 2023 or when they had the survey, I can remember a young lady coming talking to me. And why it is the result is not out. Right now you have to do another set of survey for another project. That don't make sense. That is just wasting money. We need that money. You see those money you see they're wasting there. One day they will need that money. They must stop that. If it's a money they're looking for and they have to find it, that don't make sense. The survey was made already. Find out how many people employed, how many young people that there, and how many. That is how I know it's going. So that business they coming for another survey there, that don't make no sense. It's either they want to know people's personal business or whatever it is. Come on, I'm not in that one.
All right, don't you think that sending people to every house, why not take the required information and just make it census, like a census, so you don't have to come back again?
Take which required information? When
every question you need to ask as it relates to the census. Why not a census, and why this household, whatever you call it, that's going on? Why just don't do it?
Remember, the census questionnaire I said was very long, detailed, and that was one of the things that some persons complained about, that they would have to remain at some households too long to answer.
Why
to
not?
gather
We're looking for information.
and we tried as much as possible to to convince them and explain to persons why we are doing all of these. Some persons understood and some did not. So I think that's one of the reasons maybe some of them just left, because they just realized, oh, that's it's a lot more work. This questionnaire, because they have different objectives. Okay. And as she said, she mentioned or she asked about why this, again, it's because, as we said, the other one wasn't. She asked about the results. If a survey is not completed, you can't provide results on an incomplete survey.
What happened in 2022? What is this household survey that took place in 2022? What were the results?
But that's the one we just spoke about. I said the listing was incomplete. The pre-listing, which is very similar to what we are doing now.
So you had one in 2018 that's incomplete. You had one in 2022?
The census was in 3 stages.
Right.
The first stage being the mapping, where all the buildings in Dominica were mapped. That was completed. We explained that when we were launching. Then the first stage of engaging the household was through a listing exercise, which is very similar to this.
Right.
This is the one that wasn't completed. Then we had to start off the enumeration. So we started off the census enumeration immediately after this, a few months after, and these two posed even more challenges because the responses from the field, because we have to admit that things have changed over the years. Before, persons were more willing, they were more cooperative, they would have answered these questions with no problems.
Why do you think things have changed?
Things have changed. Come on, it's obvious that
I'm asking, why do you think things have changed?
Based on the response from the field. Because as she said, in the 80s, she would have gone out, and even in the evening.
It was a different political climate. That's what happened.
Everything was different. And now, going back to the same persons 10, 20 years after, sorry. Yes, things have changed, as you said. All of those maybe would have contributed, but the response wasn't there like it was in the past.
But given the pushback that you're now getting, because you can see clearly people don't want to cooperate, is it not time to just take a pause and let's do it some of the time, or you need to do it now?
We need to do it, because if we don't do it, we have other surveys that will be impacting economic activity, impacting other economic statistics. And if it's not done now, that means you're pushing back the work. You are pushing back decisions that could be taken on behalf of the country. You are pushing back the provision of other statistics. For example, students are requesting the information. Persons out there are requesting the information. You don't have it. You say, okay, I'm going to do it 2 years from now, or I'm going to do it 3-4 years from now. What are you doing? Are we withholding or preventing persons from, advancing in whatever that they have to do with the use of that data, because we have not done the survey, because we said, no, we are not doing it now. It is best that we gather the information, we make it available. So when it is made available, everybody gets to use the information. Timely decisions are taken, timely policies, timely decisions, and the use of the data is there.
The enumerators that we're talking about, how would they select? Somebody's asking that question.
How were they selected?
Was it an application? Was it an open process?
It's an open process. So persons, for example, since we are an office who normally we conduct surveys, so we would have a pool of enumerators. Persons would ask, or persons would call the office, are you all doing any surveys? Can I, But when we were doing the census, we actually advertised, and we got a lot of persons during that time. So we still have these persons on file, and especially if we know there were some of the better enumerators, they really worked well and stuff. Automatically you contact them. If they're available, they will agree. If they're not available, then, and persons would tell other persons, oh, statistics is doing this. Do you want to do surveys? And, we bring them in. There are persons who have already come in and trained with us in the past. and then they would say, oh, well, that's not for me.
Okay.
And other persons would tell you, yes, definitely they can take it on. And they have done good jobs.
Now, let's say, I know, of course, we want you to, of course, I know it's a very busy afternoon for you, but we want to take a few more questions and we'll allow you to leave. Hello, talk to me on the telephone, yes?
Yes, Matt. Good afternoon to you.
Good
and
afternoon.
Good afternoon to your
Yes.
guest. Matt, I am there and I'm listening to the lady, right? But I have a concern here. The concern is, I was of the view that the 2011 census result was never published. She then said, I would have said that it was published on their website. But as a caller said earlier on, you did not put it on the BS News. You did not put it on Caribbean News or any of these news. On your website, how many people go check website? Matt, in a population of over 70,000. So if you don't put it on the radio, communication is already a problem. And that has resulted in people not wanting to cooperate because they never got the result of the census as they were supposed to get it. And the other thing is this. If people don't cooperate this time and you do it, she said you must do it, yes. But if you get and it's incomplete, it's just like you're not doing it. It's just like not doing it, So they have to make sure that they do what it takes to get it done and get it done well. That's my view, Matt.
All right, let's see if we can take another point here. Matt, good afternoon to you. How are you? Could you ask the guest what economic activity she's talking about? And could she find the economic activity that the survey is supposed to address as it relates to agriculture? Can you speak to that question?
Okay, for example, I'll start off with agriculture. We know that there is supposed to be, the government is looking at, conducting an agricultural census.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to do an agricultural census, you need to know the households that are involved in agriculture.
But they haven't had an agricultural census in the past 20 years. Do you realize that?
Yes, I know that it's due. It's due.
So they're trying to piggyback on what you're doing now.
No. It's a frame. As I said, this count is serving as a frame for many other surveys.
Okay.
That's the thing. So once we have that data, it can be used. So it's just getting to know, where our agricultural persons are and what type of agriculture they are engaged in. So whether it be fishing, hunting, forestry, crops, whatever it is, yes.
Can you take?
And he said about economic activities. That is, as I said earlier, for example, if you have investors, some investor wants, they need to know the population of the area that they're targeting for their investment and all of those, or economic information, as I mentioned earlier. You need to know about your GDP per capita. You would need your population in order to calculate all of those. Okay, so yes.
Somebody's asking, why not wait after Creole Festival when the crowd departs? Why now? Why now? Why the urgency? Why the now?
Why the no? Why not no? I'm asking also. Because we have a time frame for everything. Okay? And if something is due, we are supposed to complete it. And as we tell persons, if persons are not part of your usual
what's the time frame again? From now on,
4 to 6 weeks.
So starting now would be this
week we already have some persons out in the field already.
So that will be completed about the end or the middle of next month.
But as we told the persons already, don't include anybody who is not usually part of your household. So if somebody's here on holiday for Creole Festival, for whatever, they're on some short vacation, they came for some, whatever reason they came for, do not include them in this because they are not part of your usual, they don't usually live there. We have stressed that out in our trainings. Do not include persons who don't live at your household. And we normally do spot checks.
Okay.
Good.
Hello, on the telephone, talk to me.
Good afternoon, Matt Belty, and good afternoon to your guest, Isaac Bucky.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I joined your conversation late, so excuse me if I probably ask questions that have already been answered.
Okay.
I heard Mr. Ito, and Mr. Ito is on point, as he indicated, that what is so urgent about the rush that you have to complete it in 6 weeks, as the case may be, and yet the information that you're collecting is so lacking to inform policy decision making at the government level. But based on the voice note that you played previous to the Mrs. Prevost coming on the program, I think she said, correct me if I'm wrong again, that they will be collecting, asking information on the name of every person in the household, not just the head of household names, but the names of every individual, their age, their sex, etc. I know normally these surveys, when you undertake them, you take age grouping. You might say 0 to under 5, 5 to 11, etc. Or you put it in a grouping so that the statistic division can utilize it for education, etc., etc. Why is it necessary in that urgent situation to have the name of every person in that household by age and by sex? Why not age grouping? And also, you to some extent, she mentioned, but why agriculture specifically, particularly if you're saying the Ministry of Agriculture is about to undertake sometime in the very near future a complete survey? Why is it necessary for you to take that agriculture? Why not construction? Why not tourism? Why simply agriculture? I would really like you to expand on that. But most importantly, why do we need the name of every person in that household and their age group and their sex? Thank you.
Okay, thanks for your question. If you are very much familiar with household listings, we always ask for the names of everybody and their age because you need what you call single age population. Yes, we group them according to the main age groups, but that will be done after you have the single age population. As it pertains to agriculture, the main objective, as I said, was to help with the base as a frame for the agricultural census. That's all basically. That's it.
All right. Sorry, Mrs. Prefo. Can we go until 2:30? 4493095. Hello, talk to me. Yes. Our
Good
final
afternoon.
our final question. We have to go because Mrs. Prefo seems to be on a busy schedule this afternoon. Hello, talk to me. Yes.
Yes, this Privo, good afternoon.
Yes.
I guess by now you should realize the people have made up their minds that there will be a census, but it's only when you have a new dawn of day in Dominica we'll have a proper census. So in the meantime, just sit back and relax and wait for that new dawn of day. Thank you.
All right. So again, I'm just encouraging you. Of course, as I said, I've been saying since when we introduced the subject that people should cooperate, but there's going to be pushback, Miss Prevo. Certainly, there's going to be some pushback there. Miss, sorry, I'm just saying that how are you going to deal with this pushback, though?
Well, what we will do, Mrs. Stevens,
Yes, sir.
yes, what we will do, as we normally do, we will continue to encourage persons to participate, to inform them, to educate them as to the reason why we are doing it, the importance of it, because as I said earlier, a lot of the other all household surveys stem from this type of survey. This is the survey that is a frame that allows us to draw samples for all our other household surveys. And if we don't do that, then we are keeping back the other surveys that are needed for policy decisions, as I said earlier, and for all the other areas, for our students, for private individuals, for investors, for everybody else. Persons need to know what is happening in the other areas of the economy, and what will really help with this is this simple survey, this little simple survey.
So please cooperate.
So we are asking persons to cooperate with us, give us your full cooperation as we move ahead with this exercise.
But if people don't cooperate, it wouldn't be a true reflection of what you're looking for. The objective will not be met.
We can only try our best, Matt. We can only keep trying.
I want to say, Mrs. Stevens, Prefect Stevens, thank you for coming. I'm hoping that you can come back sometime and share some more light. on the statistical information in Dominica. Thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, listeners.
Thank you. Bye-bye. I would like her to stay, but she has a busy schedule. But let's take more phone calls. Mrs. Prevo, Mrs. Stevens is gone. Let's take more phone calls. Hello, yes?
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Matt.
Good afternoon to you.
Okay, I have a question. I wanted to ask Mrs. Prevo.
Mrs.
You know, when I
Stevens.
am home, I am there for a very long time.
Yes,
Okay, you know, when I am home, I'm there for a long time, but I'm not there right now. Suppose I go to my home and nobody is there. Am I being counted in or I am being counted out? How would that work?
Somebody's saying there that so the enumerator will come back when you come back to Dominica. Are you there? Let's take another phone call. We missed that one. Hello, yes?
Good afternoon, Matt.
Good afternoon to you. Yes. Mr. Stevens
Yeah,
have left, so you can ask me any questions. Hello, talk to me, yes?
Yes. I listened to the lady there. It looks like she bitten her tongue. Matt, please, for me, please, look at the lady in her eye and watch how she watching to you. The lady, you know, she's lying. I haven't got much education. I didn't learn at school. But the little bit I have, I know she already from the teach how to be on that program. She'll be there tonight, this afternoon. Lady, let me tell you something. You're speaking to a whole nation, people that smart and people that not smart. And this is untruth what you are saying to us here today. This is untruth. Everybody saying that there is a cocoa market. Why? No. At that time before the World World Festival, all you need, all these things all you're asking for. Let me tell you something. Remember what you're doing there. It's going to lead to your children, you know. What you helping the other people that are above you to do to the country, not to us, to the country. It will destroy you and your children. That is one of the bad Prevo, not the good Prevo that I know. Thank you very much, Matt.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you again. I as I indicated to Mrs. Prevo, Mrs. Prevo Stevens, there's going to be pushback. People are not just trusting the system. Hello, talk to me on the telephone, yes?
Good afternoon, Mike. Matt. Well, that was a very challenging conversation with Mrs. Stevens, Mrs. Prevo Stevens.
Yes.
Well intended.
Yes.
Her task is not an easy one. I know there are environmental circumstances that are making her job very difficult, and so on. But I'm concerned about a couple of things. For instance, she said that the 2011 census disclosed that Dominica had about 69,000, a couple hundred, the population. And
but I just want I may have missed it. Maybe I wasn't on the island, but did you hear about this 2011 report that was published? Because you're saying it's on the website. I
don't think so. Because okay, I'll come to that. But the point is, she said it was about 69,200 in 2011, and about 69,000, about the same thing, 100 or 200 more in 2022.
It was the figures that she gave was 2001 was 69,774. In 2011 was 69,325.
Exactly. So I'm saying, how could they estimate the population to be 71,000? Well, more people born and more people migrate coming to Dominica. What is on that basis did they arrive at that higher, that 71,000 population? I'm saying, you look there in statistics, you should be able to say, well, there were more births, more people came into Dominica, less people migrated out of Dominica, because you raise questions when you put an estimate that doesn't appear to be supported by the earlier figures. Because if you notice, the figure went down in 2022. So why should it go up, be higher a couple of years after? What could cause it to go higher? The other question is, that exercise coming to the radio is a useful one. So after the census, whether it was incomplete or complete, wouldn't it have been better, good, to come and talk to people? You're saying no, that it was published on the website and to them access the website. But the radio is there to educate, to inform. It shouldn't just be when there's a controversy to come on the radio, and there's so much cynicism. Because as she said, the landscape has changed. When Mrs. Carrot was the chief statistician, I was a supervisor in the census then. There was a census, and I was one of the supervisors mapping the place, going all down quarters and so on, Cooley Street and all that. And the population then was less controversial, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so on. So the point is, after the census, come to the radio, talk to the people. That's what we did. That's what we found. These are the issues, so that people will be more receptive when you come. There should be a PR section of the statistics division, especially in an environment where people are skeptical, cynical. They don't believe that the census is going to do anything for them. After 25 long years, you're now going to find out about agriculture, to do what? To start what? And then as somebody raised about what employment, aren't you interested in what people are engaged in? Are people eating well? Are they having supper, lunch? What their conditions of life are? And so you just want to know how many people exist in Dominica and whether they are interested in agriculture. What about their life? People are not interested in that. Nobody wants to give that information just for the sake of knowing how many people are in Dominica. They want to know the statistics will do something to improve their lives, will ensure what is their status, their economic status. Somebody raised the question of employment. How many of you are employed? What is your salary, or what are your wages? Those are the things that people are interested in. So the government will need that information. If you really want information that's going to be credibly informed how to move forward, that's the kind of stuff you want. So after 25 years, people are tired. The 2011 census, the 2022 census, and now this whatever it is, people are cynical. They don't think those things are going to do anything for their life. And I'm concerned that she said it was 69,700, and it was 69,300, but the estimate now is 71 something. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. It is more likely that the population will either remain the same or go down. But I thank Mrs. Stevens. I know it's not easy for her. And Matt, thank you for bringing her, for giving her an opportunity. And I know she had to run because she's very busy. She's lots of things to worry about and pay attention to. But thank you for having her, and I thank her for taking her time to come and have a conversation. I would like to encourage the Statistics Division to come and talk to people. Come and explain things to them. Talk about the population. They don't have to wait for a census to tell us what the figures are and how the challenges we face about with respect to the population and all that. Thank you, Matt. God bless you.
God bless you too. Of course, somebody says, Matt, I give the young lady an A. Very calm, very knowledgeable, very composed and professional. However, it is very obvious the system of governance is broken. People no longer have trust in the system of this government. But hats off to the young lady. She did well. 449-3095-96 and 97. Yes, hello, talk to me,
Matt, good afternoon to you, Matt. Can you hear me?
I'm here. Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, Matt. We're not talking with confirmation, but this is Stevens, right? Something is not right, Matt. People, as you said to her, there's gonna be a big pushback. Watch something, Matt. Not just an observation, You don't have to turn that.
Mm-hmm.
She said that she already instructed the people or the officers that when they go to these houses, people who do not live, like if I live in Total and I come to Dominica, at home, do not take my leave.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not living in Dominica. Well, Matt, people are not living in Dominica. They are there to reconfirm or to get back on the list. So you can see they're doing things by keep by, so people will always see where they're going and they'll be trapped. That's my observation, Matt. It might be simple, but it is deep to me.
Caller, thank you very much. Somebody's asking the question there. Why is it that it's only agriculture that is being inquired about, while there are other areas of local employment, when we all know agriculture is dead? I believe other necessary information is needed critically for the analysis. You see exactly what Mr. Avondale is talking about, what he was saying. He knew. Ask anyone who worked in the statistical division 30 years ago. Something seemed not right, according to the scholar. On the telephone, yes? 449-3095. I think there are many voice notes going out there. 449-3095. 96. Let's see if we can come back to this one there. Yes, Are you there?
Hey, Matt.
Yes.
I want to ask this chief statistical officer, did she just admit on air that we did not and we cannot do a proper national census because the people who are sent to collect the data are complaining that it's taking too long to do the work that they are paid to do?
Good note.
It's taking too long for them to sit there an extra hour if necessary and gather the data that is of critical national importance. Is that the point at which we are in the Commonwealth of Dominica, where we are so we are so unprofessional? We govern so poorly. We are so unable to do things right as a nation, of professionals, that we cannot enable enumerators and insist and train enumerators to get the information that is necessary. That the enumerators, the person who's being paid is saying, but Jay, that's taking too long, and we are comfortable with accepting that as a nation, as a professional statistical organization. We are willing to accept that is as the reason that we will not conduct a national census. Oh my God. I just simply, it continues to amaze me, the level of unprofessionalism that we are willing to tolerate on our island, Matt. I just want to ask that question to
and there's more.
Matt, again, as a professional statistician and a statistical division, we should know that we should not schedule any sort of population count during mass events like Creole Festival when thousands of people are visiting the islands. And it is not necessarily true that you cannot include these people into your population census. As a matter of fact, you're supposed to include the people who are present physically on your island, whether they're visitors or not. And so this is not, again, accurate. And one has to ask, who in God's name would schedule a population count for one of the busiest times when there are visitors on island? She said 4 to 6 weeks, correct? That means we are going directly into the season of visitors arriving. What sense does that make? Who is making those decisions? None of those decisions align with statistical best practice. So as a fellow statistician, I appeal to the chief statistical officer. You need to rethink and put your professional foot down and say, this is absolutely the worst time to be doing this. It does not align with professional best practice of census taking or even household population counting.
There's more.
And a previous caller talked about the agricultural question. Very good question and very good point, which I was about to raise. Is that the most critical piece of information that this quasi survey is after? There are more critical items, such as what is the level of unemployment in Dominica? What is the economic situation of your household? What is the crime level in our communities? There are so many more critical questions. I'm not disparaging agriculture, but if you're going to do a limited evaluation of your population, you pick the most critical issue to get the information on. How does whether me living in Roseau is engaged in agriculture the most pertinent question? And as I have said, and I continue to say, Matt, I do not understand what's going on here. None of this makes sense to me as a statistician. None of these things make sense to anyone who's looking at that objectively. It is so there has to be other things going on, Matt. There just has to be. I'm sure the young lady can't reveal those things. Maybe even she is under pressure to do things that she finds questionable. But it's just, if you look at the thing, if you look at the data and you analyze the data and the patterns of what's going on here, none of it seems to suggest that this is driven by statistical best practice.
All right.
It is recommended that we just go back and just do a complete count. And we have to ensure that this one is very timely. It is done within the shortest time frame. We are looking at 4 weeks. It may span to maybe 6 weeks, but 4 weeks. Our target is 4 weeks to do all the enumeration districts. So it is called, as I said, a household listing, whereby we have enumerators who are being trained as I speak. We are training our very first set of enumerators, and they will be deployed out in the field as soon as they're complete with the training. So that could happen later today or tomorrow for sure, tomorrow the 17th. And when they approach actually this questionnaire that they're going to use out there in the field, it's going to be a very short questionnaire. It is not a census questionnaire. It is a listing questionnaire which captures very simple data. It's just going to capture the name of the head of the household, the person who is considered as the head of the household, and the other occupants of the household. So we are collecting the names, the sex of each person within that household, age.
All right, Dominica. It's a household survey. And then, of course, the afternoon continues to be very interesting. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. In studios, Dominica in studios with me at this point in time. I know he himself worked at the statistics office many years ago, huh? So he understands may be able to give us some information before we move on. His name is Dr. Thompson Fontaine, the leader of the United Workers' Party, and his deputy is here. No?
It's president.
It's president. Oh, I missed that. You moved up in the ranks, my brother. You moved up in the ranks. Thank you very much. The president of the United Workers' Party, Mr. Ronald Charles. We've not heard this gentleman in a couple of weeks. They're here. Tell us what's going on in the ground there. Dr. Fontaine, good afternoon to you. How are you doing, sir?
Matt, a very good afternoon to your listeners, yourself, and of course to Ronald, president of the United Workers' Party, and to every person that's listening this afternoon. It's great to be here.
Good to be here. You were listening for the afternoon as it relates to this population survey. You know something about it.
But unfortunately, I was not able to listen. Yeah. But I was right in the middle of Roseau there because we are selling tickets for a car raffle.
Okay.
And persons were stopping by and they were talking about it. Apparently, they were listening. Those who were listening at their homes and so on, they were talking about it. And I was struck by the number of persons who were telling me that they were not going to participate.
Are you surprised?
I think that is what one of the biggest surprises that I had. Quite a few of them actually, quite a number of persons. So I knew that was happening, but I unfortunately I was not able to listen. But based on the reaction, I must say I was surprised because, when I was in statistics over 30 years ago, of course, I worked under the famous Michael Murphy, who was my boss then, and just before I left, I became his deputy. We never had those issues. We did household surveys, we conducted censuses, we conducted unemployment surveys, we conducted survey of businesses, and it was always relatively easy to get people cooperated. We never had the issues that I'm hearing of today.
Why is it different?
I think the problem, Matt, is quite frankly, we have politicized everything in Dominica. The government in particular has I believe, has meddled into the statistics in terms of what they did, their behavior. For example, the time they took to even give a count on the last census, the fact that they have not really, in my view, empowered the statistics division to do what it's supposed to do. And I think that people have a lot of questions about it, about just the role of the government and just the sincerity of the government. So they see a lot of political interference in all of this. And I think that is where the concerns are.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Dr. Fontaine, of course, I know we can stay here all afternoon and talk about that statistics and going forward there and why people are not trusting the system. I just told the chief that they're going to get a lot of pushback. Given what's on the ground, the feeling on the ground, they're going to get a lot of pushback. People will not want to get involved, given the situation there. But we're here to talk about other matters this afternoon. I'm sure the phone. We'll stay here until 3:30. Give you a chance to speak about some of the policies that, of course, you know. And again, Dr. Fontaine, it's about the time when people are talking about registering and reconfirmation. And Mr. Ronald, did I get a chance I'm just saying good afternoon to you for now. Huh? Okay, we'll move on. Yes, the confirmation process, Doc. There's a lot of people are saying on the ground we're not hearing enough from the United Workers Party about that. What can you tell us?
Well, Matt, we have been actually mobilizing within the constituencies to really be able to support, I put it that way, to support our constituents in the process, because we believe that's important. We believe and we are hopeful that every single person that is currently here in Dominica will be able to confirm. That's what we have. We pushed very hard for re-registration. It's not there, so we are moving on. We are going with the confirmation process. We are encouraging our people to confirm in our past radio programs and so on. We have been reaching out, telling them what to expect, the process, because there has been some concerns and questions about the process, in particular, because there was a number. We got a number of reports. Some of them I got from firsthand, where people were directly approached, and the sense was that they were being asked to register or to confirm with the Dominican Labour Party, and people were being offered passports and so on. Even just this afternoon in Roseau again, somebody from the Kalinago territory pulled me aside and he wanted me to know what's going on in the Kalinago territory. They're passing around, they're offering people passports, they're taking photos and saying that they are going to register them. And I'm saying, but that's not even possible. So there is a lot going on, and it's important that the process, the integrity of the process be maintained. No person can confirm someone else. The confirmation has to be the individual whose name is on the list. This is the individual who has to physically approach the enrollment officer to confirm his process. So no,
I cannot confirm on your behalf.
You cannot confirm on my behalf. So the fact that people are passing around telling people that they can confirm them is misleading, and all of this is causing confusion, because our supporters are saying, but why are we not doing the same thing? They're saying, why are you not confirming us? Because the Labour Party is confirming their people. And I'm saying that this is wrong. I'm saying that from October 15th, the role of the Electoral Office is to make sure that you have individuals, the enrollment officers in place. They've conducted their training. They're ready to go on October 15th. We have outlined in the legislation, which Parliament just recently passed, because the first legislation did not have it, but they have now outlined exactly what is required for registration. And so for confirmation, And because of that, we understand the process to be starting on October 15th. And so let me just remind the Dominican public that if anybody comes to you and say that they are registering on behalf of yourself, that this is illegal, and we certainly will be looking into this as well as a party.
So a lot of misinformation.
It's a lot of misinformation, and you know why people are doing this. I mean, if you want to offer somebody a passport, do it, but don't tell them that you're doing it because they have to register. One of our supporters came to me, and he wasn't sure what was going on. He says, yes, he's like, I just met this person in the bus stop, and they told me to go and get your ID because they need to register me. And he said, I ran home quickly to get my ID because I want to vote. So I quickly went for my ID because they said, unless you register with me, you cannot be registered.
Really?
And I'm saying, but why are these people doing this? Why are they doing this? And so, this is something I believe the Electoral Office, and we plan on doing lodging a formal complaint to the Electoral Office over this, because that is going on is not a good sign. And the Electoral Office need to take charge of the process of confirmation. That is squarely in their court. The political parties can encourage their members to register. They can help their members to get the documentation that is required, but that's the extent to which they should go. You cannot take on you and say you're registering people. That is wrong. That is illegal, and people need to know that they're breaking the law when they do that.
All right, I'm sure we will expound on that. But let's take a phone call. Are you there? Hello, talk to me, yes?
Mr. Peltier, is that you?
It is me, yes, sir.
Not the lady still with you?
No, she's gone long time.
Matt, I am not by a radio. It's a brother that called me and told me that if I'm not listening. I told him no from yesterday afternoon. I did not listen.
Blessings, let me just inform you that we're here with Dr. Thompson Fontaine. We're continuing another part of the discussion. So Dr. Fontaine is here this afternoon, okay? If you're not listening.
Matt,
yes, go ahead.
Matt.
I'm here.
Doc.
Yes, go ahead. Yes.
Hello. Yes.
Dr. Fontaine, blessings to you, bro.
Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon, blessings. How are you doing?
Yes.
Giving thanks.
Yes.
Blessings to you, and I wish you all the best in your endeavors because I am not by a radio. I missed the trend of the discussion. I thought it was the lady that was there. Boss, hold tight. We'll keep in touch. I pray that all you do what you have to do to get what we need to be done. Blessings to you. Take care.
Blessings to you too. Let's take another phone call. Are you there? Yes?
Yes, Matt. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
And good afternoon to Dr. Thompson Fontaine and to
yes,
good
afternoon. Good afternoon.
Ronald Charles.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, what Dr. Thompson Fontaine is describing is not only misleading and illegal, it's fraud. How could this be going on? And so these people need to be exposed. The man that from the top to get his thing, he should know who asking him to run for his ID to register. For those people, that's the only thing. Stop saying somebody tell me to go and get my ID. Say Tom Jones, Jack Blow told me, because this needs to be made out to the public. I think this is ridiculous. This is breaking the law. That's a law. They passed a law, right?
Yes.
Okay. On the other note, about this lady that was there before with you, Miss Primo.
Miss Stevens, yes.
He said that this household count is the only thing to be done to drive decision making for investors and the economy. No, lady. The only thing that drives this kind of thing for economic reasons for investors and to see what communities need is a detailed census information. This has been from the beginning of time, not a household count, lady, a detailed census. And every country in the world, I'm pretty sure, has a census ever so often. And then she had the nerve to talk about in a timely manner. Well, what about the census that has not been done in how long? Where is the timely manner in the census information? That is what I have to say today.
Okay, and some persons are now saying, Thompson, and you should basically identify the people who are getting involved in this.
Yes.
As described.
But I agree. In fact, that's part of the process. We're talking about the formal lodging of a complaint. If you're going to do a larger complaint, we have to have persons who are prepared to say, yes, this person on that day told me to do this and the other. Mackie, the majority of people are persons who they think support the Labour Party, but every now and then they come across our supporters and they do that to them. Yeah.
All right, 449-309-59697. More telephone calls. We're here until 3:30. Yes, talk to me.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, yes.
My name is Clarence Christian. I always want to see my name speaking.
Right.
Matt, I am really appalled. I'm really appalled with Thompson Fontaine. Really. But there is no way any Labourite can tell you they can confirm for somebody or what he's saying there. Not for 2 weeks. We have been on radio reading the forms.
No, but he's not saying that. He's saying that people came to him and say, well, this person asked me to come and they'll bring me the register to confirm. That's what he's saying.
I believe Thompson Fontaine is lying.
So what?
Clarence, you better shut up, You better shut the hell up. Okay?
Right. Yeah.
Because you cannot come and insult me like you're doing now. Okay? I'm telling you what was told to me. All right? And if you can't respect that, get off the radio.
Are you there, Clarence? Still?
I'm still there.
Yes,
Matt, I don't want to listen to Clarence. If you're gonna entertain Clarence, I'm out of there.
All right. So Clarence, Mr. Function doesn't want to entertain you at this point in time because he says what you're saying is a big lie. Okay.
You know, I'm all for an open discussion. If he wants to discuss, let us discuss. But you can't come and accuse me on the radio of lying. I'm telling you what happened. Okay. Call your agents that are all now in the Kalinago territory, go into people's homes and find out what's going on. But don't come on the radio and accuse me of lying, Mr. Clarence Christian. There is a limit from what I'm going to tolerate from you.
Did you get that clear, Clarence? All right, he's gone. 449-3095. You cannot come on the radio, Clarence. I mean, be a bigger man and say the guy's lying when he's reporting what somebody said to you.
Why would I make this up? There's no reason why I would make this up.
Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Yes?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
I give my full support to Dr. Fountain. You should never allow Christians to come on the radio and say those things. Thank you.
All right, Carl. Thank you very much. More telephone calls, yes.
Good afternoon, Matt.
Good
Thompson.
Yes, good afternoon to you, yes.
Thompson, I need to know something. Have you ascertained from the Electoral Commission the complement of staff who will be at each of the reconfirmation center and what their role will be? And will there be scrutineers from your party to ensure that it is not left for them to select labor rights alone who can just put anybody back on the thing? So, do you know the staff complement? And will each party have a scrutineer there to oversee what is going on to ensure that the term I use that there's no cocoa macaque in this process?
Yeah. You know what we can do is to tell or explain to persons going to confirm what they need to be looking out for. We have absolutely no control over the enrollment officers. We heard the announcement for enrollment officers. We understand now that they have selected individuals from the various constituencies, that they have given them the training, and that they're ready to go on October 15. Okay, we are trying not to interfere with the process, okay? Because the electoral office is supposed to be an independent body, and we're hoping that this process is. What we'll be doing though is we'll be observing very closely what is going on. We will not keep our eyes closed on this. We'll be observing the process to ensure that it goes according to the laws of Dominica.
All right, more telephone calls. Yes, talk to me, yeah? Mm-hmm.
Dr. Thompson Fontaine and your president or whatever. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Don't you worry, Clarence, because Labour Party lying so much, they want companion. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. A lot of people are now saying they love the tone, of Dr. Fontaine this afternoon. Standing up. That's what they're saying. More telephone calls are coming in at this time. Are you there? You're not. So, Dr. Fontaine, what's going on the ground? You're meeting your constituents?
Yes, Matt. That's very important. As you know, we conducted a series of town hall meetings along with underground work. We are continuing that. We're going to have very soon, in the next couple of days, we are going to unveil another series of constituencies. We are going to continue that work. We are going to be moving towards not just the town hall, but also wherever possible have public meetings. But an important part of the work that we want to do, of course, to educate our people on the process. People need to understand their rights and so on. And then also the legislation, I should also add as well, the legislation makes accommodation and it is very clear as to how the enrollment officers can behave and should behave. And that's very important to note and that goes especially to the caller who called previously, who was asking about whether we'll have people there. The legislation is very clear and it actually outlines the areas where enrollment officers can be held legally responsible and can actually go to prison. For example, if you deny somebody the right to confirm, if you misrepresent the information that you have been given, it is very clear in the legislation about 4 or 5 things that the enrollment officers cannot do. Mm-hmm. And if they do that, they'll be in contravention of the law, and the law allows for penalty, including jail time. So these are the kind of things we'll be looking out for to make sure that the process is respected as
Somebody's saying again and complaining that Mr. Matt, the Labour Party is not only reconfirming people, they're also registering new voters. And I said so months ago, I saw people going to the Labour constituency office in Goodwill and the Kalinago territory doing just that. Dr. Fontaine and UWP better wake up and wake up quick. So people, as you said, and you make the accusation, somebody did report to you that they reported to you that this was going on. On the telephone, hello, 449-3095, 9697. Hello, yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, I'm so happy. He put that one in his place this afternoon. Thank you very much.
That's all they want to talk about. Dr. Fountain stood up and put Mr. Clarence Wilson in his place. Dr. Fountain has just rendered Clarence. I want to repeat that word. Hello, 4493095. So you're saying work is being done on the ground?
Work has been done, of course, not enough in my view. We still have a lot of room to improve, a lot of room to reach out to the people. But I can tell you, Matt, from what we're hearing, people are fatigued. People are tired of this Labour Party. It's clear. After 25 years of non-movement in this country, the country is getting harder by the day. Things are getting more disorganized. Agriculture is almost completely destroyed in this country. Very little work is being created. Social issues are mounting, as we can see by the recent murders and just different social altercations that are taking place. So we have a multitude of problems in this country that this Labour Party seems either unwilling or unable to address. And I think people are at that point now where they're saying enough is enough. Absolutely so. Absolutely. There's no question about it. The people are fed up, tired of this government. And that's why we want a clean process as far as confirmation is concerned, as far as the cleansing of the voters list is concerned, and let the people have the say.
Mr. President, I haven't heard your voice. Are you standing with your president?
Yeah. Good afternoon, Martin.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon to all your listeners. Of course, Mr. John was also supposed to be here this afternoon, but unfortunately he had some prior engagement.
Okay.
So he couldn't be with us. But let me just say good afternoon to the Dominican public. And
I see you guys coming there with a little power.
Well, Matt, you see, there is something called
energy there.
It's not about energy, too. It's about when you have reached the end of the rope and you have made a determination that persons are not going to do or to take business as usual. As a matter of fact, it will not be the same Ronald Charles anymore, It'll be a different Ronald Charles. All right. But I say this to say, Matt, we have a lot of work to do. Notwithstanding what is going on, we have a lot of work to do as a people, as a voter. Because what is important too is that, I agree that the United Workers' Party, we're doing what we can in our capacity. Yes, we have areas to improve, but at the end of the day, it's the person who goes to the booth or have to ensure that he or she is on that list. The families that have to ensure confirmations are done, And at the end of the day, that is something that we want people to also take up and understand that this is the process that change deserve. And that is to say, they need to go out there, they need to find the information too, because this is their right. This is the most fundamental right a Dominican can have, any human being, is the right to vote. So when the right to vote has adopted a process under the law that needs to be, taken seriously, you too as an individual, no matter where you are, could be labor right, freedom right, no matter what you are, at the end of the day, you have a moral obligation to assist, to make sure you are reconfirmed, and that at the end of it, that you have the legitimate right to vote, because with the way things are going and the allegations that have been said as it relates to what is going on in the communities. I mean, if and when these things come to light, one would say this is madness. This is absolute madness if this were to be the situation.
As a matter of fact, Ronald, since Mr. Fountain made this revelation this afternoon, the amount of WhatsApp messages people are confirming, yes, it's going on.
But of course, it's there. It's been reported over and over and over again.
Yeah. So, Matt, at the end of the day, and Dr. Fountain spoke about it in reference to work being done on the ground. Mm-hmm. Of course, at the end of all of this, we know that there must be something in the air. I hear people telling me it might be December. Some persons are saying it's in January. But this is
March sometime?
Or March, whatever it is. What I want this government to do is to respect the democratic rights of the people of Dominica and stop playing games with the head of government just deciding, okay, well, the Constitution made allowances for me to, call elections at any time. So therefore, I'm just going to call it whenever it suits me. At the end of the day, we have to get down to what is right and what is wrong. There are new legislations that have been put in place for the betterment of this country to embrace democracy. And in the circumstances, we cannot be, in a society where fellas just believe they can do what they want.
Right.
So I'm hearing, what my words nicely there, that there may just be an election, but the confirmations and all that and all what we have to do in terms of voters ID and all what we may have to get may not be in place. So we're still going back to square one because it's all about manipulation. It's all about doing things the wrong way. So I have a small message to the government of Dominica and, especially the head of government. What one have to do is for once in life, give the people of Dominica a chance to go to the polls on a level playing field.
That's all.
Where the people are confident that the system is good, the system is okay. We go in there now, and then you come with your 11 players, we will come with our 11 players, and of course we will do what we have
So
to
you want
do.
a level playing
A
field.
level playing field. Too many times there is so many things that are happening. There is so many illegalities going on, and we have as a people have to stand up and say, hey, this is not right. We have our elections. Yes, you may want to win for a lot of reasons. It could be many, many reasons why you want to remain in power, or to remain in government. But at the end of the day, it's the people's government. It's the people government. And you have to give the people the right to be on that level playing field. These fears that are going on, sometimes you hear, things like, oh, well, if you go in the polling station, they will know how you vote, and you have to take photos and all these things. I mean, we have to do what we have to do as a people, and don't use the opportunity just to basically destroy democracy. That's what we're doing. And 20, 30, 40 years from now, our young people and the people who will take up this country after we are all gone in the wind, then they're going to wonder about what was going on there,
Mr. Thompson Fontaine, would you be surprised if the Prime Minister calls election December 6th?
Surprised? No, I would not be surprised. I mean, the Prime Minister, based on his history and his record, has behaved like this. Bear in mind, we had a very strong message from the Court of Justice, the Caribbean Court of Justice, in July of 2019, and in November of 2019, we had elections being called in completely disregarding the jurists, completely disregarding the international observers that said that our election system is tainted and so on. And that's the reason why I'm mad. Some of us are before the court. Some of us have had to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for legal fees and other charges and so on, because we have been standing up for free and fair elections in Dominica. So anything, this Prime Minister appears capable of anything. What I think drives the Prime Minister is this almost, insane desire to win at all costs. And then the question, of course, is why? Why not, as your legacy, as you plan on leaving government, or as the people of Dominica prepare to kick you out, why not just do the thing right? Just allow the electoral office to give them the money and the resources that they need as required, and let the office do its work. Let us get a clean voters list. And let me just say, Matt, the Prime Minister should not continue to push and provoke the people of Dominica. We have been extremely patient with this Prime Minister.
You sound very militant.
We have taken, Matt, people tend to misunderstand me, So, I know when I should pull out my sharpened knife, and when I should put on a smile, and that is one of those times, because especially as we are hearing, I'm fed up, especially as we are hearing about how can you, in the midst of a process that we have sacrificed for as a people, our own personal liberties have been taken away from us. People were jailed for that. Why after all of that pain and sacrifice, the process is about to start, you're talking about an election? I mean, where is the dignity in this? So all I'm saying is this: do not provoke the people of Dominica, because we understand that this government of Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit is an extremely repressive government. The world understands that. We've put the world on notice. They know of the record of this administration. And any attempt by this Prime Minister to go down that route where he still wants to call an election on a bloated list, he will have the consequences on his hand. And I think people are at the point where they have been patient, they've taken it up, but 25 years is a long time. 25 years of this pain under this administration, especially when you consider that the future of Dominica looks so bleak. The future looks so dark for so many people. There's a level of frustration,
The
man.
economy is dead.
The economy is dead. We are seeing the mounting social problems. This Prime Minister should not take the people of Dominica for granted. And that's what I'll say.
Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Yes, you're there.
Yes, man.
Yes.
Nothing much. Good afternoon. Yeah, Thompson. Good afternoon, sir, doctor. I don't know you handle the situation. You can't always be like a lamb. And let me tell you something that I'm a little away from that. People that do wickedness. An example now is for them to watch. I watch Mr. Tony yourself and not eating well. Just about 4 days ago with 4 men walking around with him. And let me tell you, he's miserable for a man that have money. The amount of wickedness he do. So people stop do people wickedness. All
right, Dr. Fong, I wanted to ask you about the cases before the court with the CBI. Where are we at this point?
Yes, Matt. So I'm thankful to report that we are back in court on the 30th of September. And let me remind the Dominican public what this is all about. It has to do with the United Workers' Party.
This month, September.
Yes, September 30th. It has to do with the United Workers' Party, Team Dominica, suing the government of Dominica to ensure that all of the proceeds of the CBI goes through the consolidated fund according to our constitution and according to the laws of Dominica. So that is number one. All right. That is going forward. And we are very happy that is before the courts. Especially now we are hearing about projects going on. Public servants been given projects out of the CBI funds and so on. Monies, persons suing, range for millions of dollars. All of these things we are hearing. And we are saying, no, that should never be. That the monies belong in the consolidated fund. So we are fighting on behalf of Dominica to ensure that the monies go into the fund so that we can have money to build our schools, money to improve our health system, money to just, probably fix roads and make the place better, and so that's what we are looking forward to on the 30th of September. And we are very confident that the Constitution and the rules are on our side and that we are asking the court now to enforce it.
What's the report you're getting rid of the CBI? Still dwindling at the end of the precipice? So we've fallen below.
Yes, Matt. I think given everything that has come out of late with regards to the scrutiny that we've had, not only on Dominica, but also on the other islands in the Caribbean, and the threats that have been made in terms of even the withdrawal of visa access to the United States, and even travel bans that have been spoken about. In light of all of this, I suspect that the revenues are going down. And there are serious concerns that people have, because even persons who would probably want to get a Dominica passport now would probably be thinking twice because of everything that surrounds it. So it's something that we've said all along, that we always knew that this was not sustainable, and at some point it would come to an end, and it looks like the end is a lot nearer than we first thought.
I've heard, of course, many liberal rights, of course, from the top say that your aim is to destroy CBI. Is that the objective?
Far from it, Matt. Far from it. A United Workers' Party team government in 1995 re-engineered the program. Ronald Lander led that charge in re-engineering the program because they saw the CBI as a viable means of bringing revenues into the country. We have said repeatedly that we are not against the CBI. What we are against is the handling of the CBI, the lack of transparency, the lack of accountability. These are the things that we're against. So we are not against the program per se. We want monies to develop this country. We want monies to be able to develop our health system. We want monies to be able to develop our education system. We want money to be able to develop a welfare system if we have to. Mm-hmm. What we don't want is our money, as we're seeing now, being given, persons are given Dominica's money to build hotels, and it belongs to them. I mean, that to me is an element of theft. And that is something that we will be looking at very, very closely, whether or not the process that is embarked upon is not, in fact, theft of state funds right in the open. Because it cannot be that the money belongs, the passport is state-owned, belongs to the state. You are making money off that state property, and you're giving it to private individuals, and these private individuals get to own the assets. That to me seems very, very wrong. And that is something, again, we want to explore further, even within the court system, to have the court look at it and say, well, what exactly is going on? And that's why it comes back to what we want is all of this money is going back to the treasury. Because if the monies are in the treasury, no one individual can get access to it because it has to go through a government process. But what this government has done very well is that they have been able to operate the CBI outside of the regular government checks and balances. And that's the reason why we are where we are today.
Of course, we don't have too much time, but we want to talk about some election issues there. Candidates, Mr. Thompson Fountain, where is the United Workers' Party on this? Mr. Ronald Charles, will you talk to us about,
Matt,
the recruitment process, if you will?
You see, the thing is that let me put it this way. At the end of the day, we all well know that there are a few persons that have been and continue to be caretakers within the communities or constituencies. We at in the United Workers' Party, we have a constitution. We have a process by which we ensure that we get suitable candidates, and we use the constituency associations to do that. Although we have, the likes of maybe Ronald Charles still there, Hector, and all of us are still there. At the end of the day, there is a process. But we have a few people that have shown interest in being the caretakers in the various constituency from the constituency associations. And therefore, very, very soon we'll be able to give you that slate. You make it a date and we'll give you that slate. We're not going to get anything out of the bag now.
Make it a date and I'll give you that slate.
We'll give you that slate. But in all fairness, we continue to do what we have to do because we believe that, Dominica is not an easy place, Dominica is not an easy place because of what this government have put in place, over the past 25 years. You have a lot of persons that are being victimized, some persons that are interested in being in politics because of the character assassination. They're staying away from it. And it's good. They're good people who would make a significant contribution towards the development of this country. However, persons, it appears to us that anytime you get into the political frame, it's all about, people just coming after you and trying to destroy you, So we have this, Matt, very, very soon. The announcement will be made very, very soon.
I'm reading some of the text messages, and the persons are now saying that based on the stance that Dr. Fountain took this afternoon, he has already won the election. We're going to take a break. We'll come back, Dominica.
I wish it was that easy.
Everybody selling their conscience. Low maintenance, engine friendly fuel in Dominica. Everybody knows that West Indies oil, gasoline, and diesel. Real West Indies gas, epi diesel. We offer high performance octane gasoline and ultra low sulfur diesel island wide. Use West Indies oil to avoid costly breakdowns. Step in Real West Indies Pupa gas meter, Evelaja, Asulari, Lacoroni, Dominic. West Indies oil, whether rain or shine. We have been and will always be there for you. We've been together as partners on and off the road for over 50 years. You get more miles for your smile. Choose one of our conveniently located service stations around Dominica. Macmillan Service Station, Cass Street and Castle Comfort. West Coast Gas and Gold, Quilloughby Street. St. Joseph Service Station, Western Service Station, Sukees Island Petroleum, Newtown. Harefield Service Station, Rockaway, and Mouth Service Station in Portsmouth. As always, West Indies Oil will stay two-time. Will West Indies Oil is happens every
Also available at the Linda Park service stations at Goodwill and the Riverside in Portland.
What are you doing inside Bloombox? You have a farm? You tell me, that's how it has sought. I've been married 37 years. Look at my money farm. They say, no, not woman, like land for farming crops. And then you understand, Bloombox is the most affordable on island. Knapsacks starting at only $57.71. Elsewhere, it's $300 plus. Cutlass seeds, seeding trays, nursery pots, sales of potting mix, all at way better prices than anywhere else. Fertilizers, 3-in-1 multi-tool, and so much more. Located on Federation Drive, Goodwill. Second property on the right after the Valley Link Road and on the corner of Drury Lane and Hanover Street in Rosal. Bloombox. Let's bloom together.
The Johnson family and friends, in collaboration with the Dominica Cancer Society, presents Songs and Rhythm in support of cancer care. This benefit concert will be held at the Alliance Française from 7 p.m. on Saturday, September 27th, 2025. Tickets are only $50 under the distinguished patronage of Her Excellency Mrs. Sylvanie Burton and Mr. Burton. Songs and Rhythm will feature the following acts: Tyson Johnson and family, Mikael Henderson, Janae Jackson, Niall Grove, Stillpan, and Royat Daniel and Vernella Dumas. Get your $50 tickets at the Cancer Society office. Call 767-316-7326 or from Tyson Johnson at 245-8994 and Davis Later 265-3607.
All parents and guardians of children in Dominica, Kiddies Hub is open on Castle Street in Rosal. For all educational, informative, and child-friendly, unique, and trendy, wholesome activities, come to Kiddies Hub. Children's favorite cartoon characters, Montessori toys, alphabet puzzles, backpacks, snack bags, children's clothing, children's shoes, decorative ornaments, teddy bears, Sharkies, Miss Rachel toys, Mickey and Minnie themed toys, bilingual toys, kiddies umbrellas, talking and dancing sunflower activities, blankets, towels, endless party supplies. Come to Kiddies Hub for balloons, candy splash gummies, ice cream, coloring books, smart electronic learning gadgets, all the most popular, effective, and child-friendly, teacher-approved, mothers-agreed, interactive, informative, educational toys, games, books, and every other child-friendly idea that'll make your kids smarter. Available at Kiddies Hub on Castle Street opposite Macmillan Service Station on Castle Street. From newborns to toddlers to kindergarten to preschool and beyond. Every day is fun day at Kiddies Hub on Castle Street.
Time is not on our side. You feel free to call and, of course, ask any question. I'm seeing a lot of WhatsApp messages going on there. You don't have the time. Dr. Fontaine, one of the complaints I've heard in recent days is that they need to see more of the United Workers' Party on the ground. How do you respond?
Matt, I want to agree with that sentiment as well. I believe that we need ever more presence on the ground. And that's one of the things that we have been encouraging our caretakers and our constituency associations to do, to spend the time on the ground, because that's where elections are won. Elections are won on the ground. And I believe that if we are sufficiently on the ground, that will be able to take care of a multitude of problems and sins, in the sense that when this government comes with its largesse and so on, to try to have people vote for them based on what they give them, then people will be able to resist that, because they would have heard from us a plan, especially as we push our 10-pillar plan for this shared prosperity for Dominica. They would have heard about this, and they would have that belief in us. So yeah, being on the ground is certainly critical for us, and that's the reason why we're going to unveil in the next couple of days another series of town hall meetings, engagements on the ground, and public meetings.
Another issue I've heard about is, the force of unity, getting together with the other opposition parties on the ground and making it a united force.
But I think that's an important point to note, because the unity of the opposition is vital, especially where you have a government that has been entrenched for all of those years and is not shy of using all sorts of fraudulent means to remain in office. I believe that the opposition talking with one voice becomes even more important. And so we cannot afford to have anyone being left out. It is very important for us to bind together. And that is something that, as the number one or the lead party in opposition, we are very much aware of, and we'll continue to work with anybody who wants to work with us to ensure that we bring change to this country.
I love that stand Dr. Fontaine took this afternoon. That's everything. Every line, every message comes with this. This discredited the Labour satellite, Clarence Christian. That's what I'm talking about, Doctor. Just keep that energy alive. And of course, thumbs up to you again. More credit to you, and more congratulations to you there.
Yes, Matt, because this Labour Party is supported very much by individuals like Mr. Clarence Christian. They're on the radio almost every day spewing lies and things about me. But let them believe I am not taking note. I just want to put him on notice that this is just the beginning. I mean they have been on radio abusing me in all sorts of manners, saying all sorts of lies about me, but let them know that someday they will have to pay for it,
Somebody says, Matt, these men are on fire. Let's rally with them for the redemption of my Dominica. Matt, can we have a repeat of this program? Let's take another phone call. Hello, talk to me. I guess what
Dr. Thompson Fontaine, I love the last piece you said about inviting most of the opposition who can do what they have to do to join force with you to take out the big stone in that road. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. More telephone calls. We're going to wrap it up in 6 minutes. Yes, parts of this program will be repeated sometime, maybe early next week, okay? Hello, talk to me, yes.
Good afternoon there, because I telling you, we were in the same frame of mind. I was upset, man, and I really, really like it. The Dominicans start understanding the trick that is going on. And it's time they're going out, so they're scared.
All right. More telephone calls. We don't have too much time. You have to call right now. We have 6 more minutes. Hello, talk to me, yes?
Okay, Matt, yes. Give me a little break, please.
Yes, I'm giving you a break.
I calling the people on the east. Grand Fond, Rivière Civic Square, Mansion. Please, Pepsi, all you boys. I calling all you, please don't forget our Dr. Thompson Fontaine. The Prime Minister coming out from the East. We shuffle up in this time. On the East, our Prime Minister coming out from the East. Please, all you don't forget our Dr. Thompson Fontaine, please. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Thompson Fontaine.
Yes, thank you very much, Color, for the endorsement. And he talked about the East, and that's very important because that's the agriculture belt of Dominica, all the way up, going up north, Wesley, Marigot, coming down, Kalinago territory, La Plaine, Grand Fond, Cassie Bruce, and so on. That's the bread basket, if you like, of Dominica. And so people understand that. They understand that we, as a United Workers Party, Team Dominica, when we are in government, they realize the importance of agriculture to us and bringing agriculture back. So there is something for them by supporting us.
And you think agriculture has been neglected?
Absolutely neglected.
Hello, talk to me on the telephone, yes?
Yeah, good afternoon. I want to endorse the message of the last caller who said that their Prime Minister is coming out from the East, and I endorse that.
Here, more telephone calls. Hello, talk to me, yes?
Yes, good afternoon to you, Matt.
Good afternoon to you.
And to Dr. Fontaine and to Ronald Charles. Matt, I'm not too far up there in age, and I'm not too low down there in age, but since I've been able to understand, I've been hearing me saying the wise men coming from the East. And we have had the leaders from the South, from the North, from the Northeast, from the, where let us just this time put a wise man from the East and to lead this country, because I believe that's what we are missing at this juncture in our development in Dominica. Let us put a wise man from the East
in charge of Dominica, and let's see where we go from there. Yeah.
All right, good afternoon to you again. More WhatsApp messages. Matt, big respect to Thompson Fontaine. Well done, sir. Yes, I need more of this from him. That was very inspiring. Thanks to Clarence Christian. Thompson Fontaine has just won the election. I don't know why. We have to wrap up in a few minutes. Dr. Fontaine, Mr. Fontaine. Oh boy. Roland Charles, your final comments.
Yes, thank you, Matt, for the opportunity. I wish we had a little more time so we could talk about more issues. But let me just say, it's a pleasure.
I'm sure we've seen more of you in quick
Well,
time.
yes, but you see, Matt, you realize that I don't come on the radio very often. I take my time, I do what I have to do. But let me just tell the Dominican people, at the end of the day, we have a country that belongs to every single Dominican, and no one set of people should dominate over Dominica. It is time now for us to come out and show our true colors as real Dominicans. No paesi, put it like this. And we have to go up there and tell this government that notwithstanding the 25 years of misery, one would say, at the end of the day, our people deserve better. And I'm sure under the leadership of Dr. Thompson Fontaine and his team, we are going to make Dominica a better place. I want to take this opportunity, of course, to thank my constituency and to thank all Dominicans for starting to realize that their voting right, they're going to make it a priority. They're going to ensure that they help themselves by getting confirmed or reconfirmed on the list. And of course, the young people that are not yet registered. There are thousands of young people that are not registered. Dominica belongs to you. So if you're hearing my voice today, you need to go and get registered because you have a say as it relates to the management of this country. And you can do it. So your democratic right must be exercised on every occasion that you get. So, Matt, all in all, thank you for the opportunity as we continue to do what we can in our capacity to make Dominica the best place to live and the best place to enjoy life.
All right, Dr. Fontaine.
Matt, thanks for the opportunity. Look, we are doing this for the people of Dominica.
Mhm.
We are in this fight, and a fight it is, a struggle, if you like, because we believe that Dominica deserves better than what we have passing for government. We have the firm belief that this country can do better, and that's why we are engaged in this battle to rid Dominica of this Labour Party government, because it has not been good for Dominica. It has not benefited the large majority of Dominicans. It has kept our people impoverished. It has kept our people in ignorance. And we are now in a position to chart a better course. And in that regard, I want to say a big thank you to our team within the National Executive, our team of candidates and potential candidates as well, and our caretakers as well, and our constituency association persons who are working the ground with us. We have a lot of work ahead of us, but we are confident. We are prepared to put in the hours. We are prepared to do the hard work. We are not taking this thing for granted. We understand this government is going to pull out every trick in the book to try to cling on to power. And that's what they're doing right now. They're literally clinging on by their fingertips. And so the hard work is ahead of us. We are up to it. We are prepared for it. And I want to thank Dominica for listening to us, but more importantly, for providing that support that we require. Because together, Matt, we can do this. Together, we can change Dominica.
Somebody says, Matt, our final comment here. Like it or not, you have to go rogue with these guys. The time for this gentleman performance, white glove reaction is over. On that note, I'll be back on the radio tomorrow morning.
And leaders should pay attention to this fundamental principle. It's only the truth that always remains unchanged. If you lead by example, you can change the people. If not, people will change and stop following you. There's always another aspiring leader waiting to take over. No later, change coming for sure. It's not that and the unemployed your people from the corner. When government counterproductive of what your citizens are trying to achieve. When one is in and the other judges scraping up a living. Whoa, it's nothing strange. It's like when change declares its day, who can stand in its way? What one seems impossible, no becomes inevitable. When school leavers can't find work and citizens are losing hope, people from all sides begging for a better life. Then out of that darkness, there comes a light, a consciousness where people could now unite. Many can feel it, though they are afraid to say they longing for the day. From this side, from that, as the day heading away. In your 20s, don't know what it's like to earn a salary. When voters in the constituency, you see your homes while leaders spending 2 and 3. When in the outside of water, any government